Well, hey guys.
Good morning.
Good
or
morning.
afternoon,
Yeah,
or whatever time it is.
Whatever time you're watching this virtually. And so, as you can tell, I know COVID-19 has kind of put you on, what do they even call it? Virtual learning. Where you've got to be probably at home, somewhere you've got to view these things. But we want to give you some content. I want to talk to you about these important things that are very important no matter if there's a pandemic or there's not a pandemic. And very relevant stuff, like we always talk about with you guys. And we hope you're safe. We hope you're doing well. We hope you are healthy. That's a big deal nowadays. Very big deal.
Healthy in your whole person.
Healthy in your whole person, right? So today we're actually going to start things off with talking about, dating. Dating in connection during a pandemic, Keisha. This is a weird thing. This is like, dating during the swine flu. You remember the swine flu?
Kinda, not really.
Not really. I don't remember the swine flu being like this. I don't remember anything being like this. And,
we were just talking about being, like, we remember being teenagers, but we never experienced high school during a pandemic.
Right.
So we can connect in some ways, but in some ways it's like, it's just a struggle to understand what you guys are experiencing.
Yeah, and so it's really difficult right now. You think about when there's not this stuff going on to connect. Because there's so many layers, there's so many barriers, there's so many obstacles in the way already in high school, especially for most of you guys. You're in a large school, hundreds of kids. I mean,
thousands.
Hundreds and hundreds, of kids. Some of them, you'll pass a kid in the hallway and you've never seen that kid before, and you might not see him again for 4 years. I mean, it's just crazy. And so when you add in normal high school dating, and you add in all those barriers, all those complications, then you throw COVID and all its restrictions, social distancing, a mask. I was joking about today, but you might see a guy or you might see a girl who she's a 10 from here up with a mask on, but you take that mask off and oh my Lord, she might not be a 10 from here on out. So things are different than they probably ever have been as far as dating goes. And so we want to just talk through some things like what can you do to connect? What can you do to connect when everybody is supposed to be disconnected and supposed to be safe? And so, Keisha, what's some things like very easy things they can do during COVID to connect and stay connected?
Well, I think about how important it is, like just in general, like we are like physiologically wired to be in connection with each other. So this disconnection and isolation in general is really taking a toll on us mentally and emotionally because we are disconnected from each other. And so being intentional with connection in friendships, relationships, dating relationships, whatever that looks like, is really important. And there's safe ways that we can do that. So whether you're at home, okay, like we have our phones, we have social media, we have Facetime, we have all of these things, and there's lots of ways that you can, connect contactless without having to be around each other. Because I know, like, everybody is having their turn right now with being quarantined. So whether you've had COVID or not, there's probably at some point you will have to quarantine whether you've been exposed or had it. So when you're stuck at home, there's limited things that you can do while you're sitting at home. But the lovely thing about technology, it has its pros and it has its cons. It's kind of a love-hate thing.
For sure.
But FaceTime, like you can FaceTime each other. You can. Nick was talking about, like if you can binge a Netflix show together. You can watch a movie together while you're on FaceTime. Just line it up where you can both watch it at the same time.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, and then be able to watch it together and talk about it, over through a screen. But it's better than, I guess, not at all.
And you might be somebody like me. I like to sit in silence while watching a movie. I like to sit there and enjoy the movie and watch it. My wife is always like, oh man, what do you think?
What is he thinking?
What do you think's going to happen? Do you think it's going to? I'm like, if we just watch the movie, we'll find out together. And so, there's certain preferences. Some people like to watch movies together, as in like to talk through the whole thing. If it's a certain film, like, some classic like Ace Ventura or Nature Calls, if you haven't watched that, watch that on Netflix. Cult classic. Awesome movie, comedy. There's certain films you can talk during, but if there's like a serious drama going on, I don't want to talk. I just want to, watch and get engrossed in the drama and kind of lose myself in the story, right? My wife's the opposite. So, you can definitely FaceTime, watch movies. A big thing right now that's gained a lot of popularity, you've probably seen it on TikTok and everywhere else, is Dropoff. That's contactless. You can drop something off. Used to, big around Valentine's Day when it's normal is just sending flowers. Guys, you can send flowers no matter the time of year. Mm-hmm. Your girlfriend right now is like, yeah, boy, yeah. You can send flowers anytime. You can drop off gifts anytime. You can send food. There's DoorDash. There's other things. Even here in Paducah, there's options where you can send food. I don't know a girl out there who don't like a pizza delivered to her. I have not met a female out there or a guy. Like, hey, boy, I'll send you some pizza. Here it comes. Just get creative. It is. And if one of your friends is in quarantine, I want to encourage you, pick up the slack. Be there for them. Ask them, say, hey, do you need anything? Mm-hmm. And can I get you anything? And really mean that. And so and most of the time people won't say, hey, I need something. So just be nice and get them a little gift anyways. It might cost you $10, $15, but it can mean the world to them. And also you can go and sit outside their window, talk to them. They can open up their screen, not their screen, the window, and they can talk through the screen as long as you're 6 feet apart. There's no risk there of contact. And so just get creative, guys. We are all about you having a real connection. And even though COVID has caused us to really rethink a lot of things, people do need connection. And dating can still happen. It just looks different. And if you are going to go out and about, you're going to notice the restaurants are a lot less capacity. Mm-hmm. So it is quieter. I don't know about that's a good thing. But there are still dating options available. I haven't went to the movies during the pandemic. I have not. Have you went to the movies? It's been closed.
We talked about it at one time, but they were closed.
Yeah, they were closed. And so I don't even know if you can go to the movies. I don't know what you can do. But I do know outside's always a good option. Mm-hmm. If you're both, as healthy as you possibly can be, and you're trying to practice social distancing, and you're wearing a mask, if you feel that way, you can go outside. Outdoors are always open. You can go, hike at LBL. Yeah, you can go hike at LBL. You can go to Garden of the Gods. It's right there in Illinois. It is wintertime, so there's a lot of other options. Go look at Christmas lights. These are things you can do that COVID cannot take away from you.
Yeah, and it's a really great opportunity to do life completely differently, to date completely differently, to really get to know people, creatively, because, with the drop-off idea, you are kind of forced to get to know little things about people that encourages you to be thoughtful, if you know what their favorite candy is and you drop it off, at their house, what kind of message are you sending to that person? I hear you, I see you, I care about you. And that's the good stuff of connection. That's the good stuff of relationships. It's real easy for people to date and, go to the movies or, even when we talk about sex, it's real easy to take your clothes off and have sex with somebody. But the good stuff, the hard stuff, the intentional gold in the relationship is those little things of those intimate things that you learn about a person. And COVID and the pandemic is a great way to get to do that, because you could ask their friends, what's her favorite food? What's her favorite snack? What's his favorite movie or whatever? You can find out intimate things about them and meet that need and take that relationship to an even deeper level through those different things, getting to know that. I think it's exciting.
Yeah, it's a unique time, guys. As much as you might not think of this is a time where you can grow closer to the people who are in your home, even your younger brothers and sisters or older brothers and sisters, or even your parents. This is a time where you're not going to be this close with them on a daily basis probably ever again. And it's possible, and that's partly because of quarantine. You got to stay in the house together, and there's going to be some fights. There's going to be some disagreements. There's also going to be some memories made that you'll have for the rest of your lifetime. You're going to connect with them, play board games, have movie nights with them. So do not waste this time. Me and Keisha are big on that, because here's the reality. Even me and my wife, we had to quarantine. We got out of a 2-week quarantine a couple weeks ago, and literally, our physical attraction did not keep me and my wife together during that time. Did not get us not to have a fight. It was our intimacy. It was our real connection on a personal level. And sure, there was times where she'd go in another room and I'd go in another room, because we do need one-on-one time. But more than that, it was a time where we got to really talk about a lot of things we never talked about before. We had real connection, because that's what relationships are built off of. They're not built off physical things. They're built off emotional things. They're built off social things. They're built off a true intimacy that has to deal with keeping your clothes on. And I'm married. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with me taking my clothes off, pants off, dance off. Nothing wrong with that. But in all reality, I want you to understand that my connection with my wife is based off a emotional connection. It's based off a friendship. And so we really want you to think about that. And so as much as COVID has stripped away, some physical opportunities, the emotional connection opportunities are there. The social connection, even though you're not able to connect socially like you thought you could, there is a possibility to still connect socially. And what I don't want you to do, though, is to scroll for hours and hours on social media and look at everybody else connecting and you feel isolated. That's not healthy for you. And so I do want to encourage you, if you are going to use your phone, use it wisely. If you are going to do things, do it smart and engage in the right things, healthy things, right? And because there is a dark side. There's a dark side to it.
And if you are feeling isolated or lonely or, depressed, like reach out to your parents. Be like, hey, like I'm feeling kind of down, like reach out, talk to your parents, talk to your friend or someone that you trust about how you're feeling, because you're not alone.
Right.
All of us are experiencing waves of just feeling down, feeling unmotivated. Like there's just so much just up and down right now, and so it's normal. Like you're not crazy, you're okay, but make sure you reach out to somebody and let somebody know what's going on with you.
And if somebody is distancing themselves, then you reach out to them.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, I'm just checking on you. Because even everybody understand, like you said, that's really important to understand. We're all going through this together. COVID is affecting everybody differently. And some people, there's some introverts who are like, yes, best thing ever. I can sit inside and read books all day and never see anybody. Like they're like, yeah. And then there's some extroverts out there where you're like, this is awful. Like I don't like my friends. Like if you draw energy from people, then you're automatically going to be like, this is just the worst. So everybody's got some positives and negatives. But the big thing is go above and beyond to try to really connect with people. And do the little things. Do the things you wish somebody would do for them. Reach out to somebody and say, hey, do you need anything? Just try to stay connected the best you can. Here's the reality, guys. There's going to come a day when this is behind us. Yeah. I really believe that this is not going to last forever. It's just a season. There's, if you did not know this, there's vaccines already in the works. There's different things that are going to happen. And one day, it'll be like the ice storm. Some of y'all might not, I don't even know if some of them are alive. No, they were alive. It's been, 10 years ago? 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of you were really young. You might not even remember it, but that was a huge, big deal when that happened. And now some are like, oh, man, you remember the ice storm? There's going to come a day where like, you remember 2020?
Yep, remember COVID?
Remember COVID? That was some wild stuff. So, yeah, just stay connected. So, Keisha, that's all we got for them. That's all I got for them. You got anything else?
Nothing else. Reach out, stay connected, and, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we will see you soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Stay safe. And if you're going to Netflix, even when you're by yourself, don't Netflix and chill. You know who you are. See you. Peace out.